consent agenda?
Yes, I move we accept the agenda as presented.
I now second, and we are on favor. Thank you. The next select board meeting will be Thursday, October 6th, 2022
At the firehouse. It is at the firehouse.
Firehouse?
Yeah, this is the old agenda.
Okay.
I corrected it.
All right, firehouse, okay. At the firehouse. Yes, because that would be a busy meeting. I have no further comments. Do you have any comments,
I do
Suzanne?
not.
And in the interest of fairness, shall we moderate alternatively through the business meeting?
Sure.
All right, you want to take business item number 1?
I'm sorry, you said you were taking it or I'm taking it?
If you take, well, why don't I take this one, because I was
Right on, Warden.
the first item of business is the Memorandum of Understanding concerning marine law enforcement services. And you have, for your interest in education, the draft agreement between Sagadahoc County and the town of West Bath for your review. And the Sagadahoc County Commissioners approved this agreement at their September 13th meeting on the recommendation of Sheriff Mary. He spoke very well of this. And then the Sheriff's Office will provide coverage based on the terms of the agreement as soon as they receive the special waiver required by the Department of Marine Resources. And hopefully that will take place starting on September 19th.
So I think probably the one thing we should share for the public, since they're not reading this, is that the cost will not exceed $15,000 and will not exceed 200 hours on what we're supplying on behalf of our budget allocations, which we are redistributing from what we had already allocated.
We are not going over the budget for this. And the county will not be adding money to their budget either.
As of yet, maybe somewhere down the road, hopefully.
We don't want to get any false hopes.
But we also want to find a way to support the waterfront of Sagadahoc
Right.
with our tax dollars, so that we just cut a gigantic check.
No, that's our beautiful new coffee machine.
Wow.
This is the original.
This is amazing, because this looks like a, wow. That's
You're actually supposed to sign in blue, which helps to show that it's an original, but now you can't tell.
So,
I move that we accept the MOU for the main law enforcement services as presented. Marine, main law, we're gonna take all of the main law enforcement into the Shellfish.
and I'll second that. Okay.
So it's a little bit awkward the way they design the form, but you can just both sign down there.
Both of them. I hate those kind of
This is like the highlight of my year. And the Marine Resources Board is going to be very happy.
Yes.
Item number 2, memorandum of understanding for the landowner radio tower sites. Sagadahoc County Commissioners approved the MOU at their September 13th meeting on the recommendation of Communications Director Mike Carter. The county is planning to upgrade a countywide public safety emergency system, communication system, and has identified a potential tower site on town-owned property in West Bath. The MOU, which will expire December 31st, 2025, is in a contract or commitment to the location. The purpose of the agreement is to allow the county to conduct feasibility tests prior to determining the exact terms of a potential lease, purchase, or donation agreement with the town of West Bath.
themselves ample time to do their feasibility study, but that's fine.
And, point of information, there were 2 other sites being considered. But this memorandum only applies to us so that they can look at the land that they're interested in. So, we have a motion to, yes, I move that we accept the memorandum of understanding on the Landowner radio tower site as presented.
Second?
Okay, and on this one, they have my name, so if you could authorize me to sign it on your behalf.
In addition, on the motion, could we amend that to include Christine Poland as our administrator, as the official signatory?
Second?
All in favor?
I would recommend that we table items 3 and 4 until Kathy is here for a comment. I'm going to put them on the agenda for October 6th. Hoping that they'll be approved or approved with changes that evening.
I have one question with, as we move forward with the human resource policy
Okay.
manual. Has the staff had a chance to?
Not
review?
yet. I'm gonna give them this period. I think it's about 3 weeks, 3-week period to review it.
Okay, because I'd like them to see it before we go final.
Definitely.
We've looked at this draft before. I think that it's a fairly sound draft. My only comment is that the dress code stuff still seems to be
Little much.
more detailed about women's
yeah,
fashion. No, it's really hard. But,
They can both wear tank tops, it's okay.
John may not come to work in a Speedo, no.
No, I said a tank top, I didn't say anything about a Speedo.
Beachwear is definitely out. It looks good. It looks very comprehensive. And I hope that we don't have other issues come up with it. And I was studying very steadfastly this week. The committee procedures also looks really good.
Next on the agenda, is community resilience.
You have to vote on the table?
Oh, yes, I move that we table the business item 4, policy on committee procedures and the human resource policy manual.
Second?
All in favor?
So item 5 is a community resilience partnership resolution. Through grants and direct support to municipal governments, the Community Resilience Partnership assists communities to transition to clean energy and become more resilient to climate change effects, such as extreme weather, flooding, rising sea levels, public health impacts, and more. Recommended by Maine's 4-year climate action plan, Maine Won't Wait, the partnership offers community support for both climate mitigation and adaptation activities. It is administered by the Governor's Office of Policy Innovation and the Future. Municipalities must adopt a resolution to participate in the partnership. Would you read the resolution?
If you want to, that could be helpful.
Whereas, as the town of West Bath has completed the Community Resilience Partnership's Community Resilience Self-Assessment and list of community actions and held community workshops on July 8th, 2021 and August 4th of 2021, which prioritize the following action areas: transition to cleaner heating and cooling in municipal buildings, protect natural and working lands and waters, planning for community resilience, reduce flood risk, assess climate vulnerability and infrastructure, and increase public awareness of climate change impacts and opportunities to take action. Be it resolved, the town of West Bath commits to participating in community resilience partnerships, which supports community leadership in reducing greenhouse gas emissions and increasing resiliency to extreme weather and climate change impacts. Be it further resolved, The town of West Bath designates the town administrator, Christine Poland, to coordinate planning, implementation, and monitoring of energy and resilience projects, and to be the primary point of contact to the Community Resilience Partnership. The town of West Bath experiences coastal flooding, intense rainstorms, and other natural hazards, and seeks to better prepare for future conditions. Planning for community and infrastructure resilience will protect life, preserve the local economy, and reduce the impact and cost of natural disasters. Investing in energy efficiency and weatherization improvements will reduce municipal expenses and make buildings more comfortable for employees and visitors. The Community Resilience Partnership provides grants to municipalities for activities that lower energy expenses, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and increase community resilience in alignment with the state's climate action plan and goals. Therefore, the resolution is approved by the municipal officers of the town of West Bath this 15th day of September 2022.
I move acceptance of the Community Resilience Partnership Resolution.
Second?
All in favor? And here's our original.
That was a tongue-tied read.
Yes, very formal.
And always difficult if you're trying to read in a hurry. That's a good thing. And business item 6. We have a letter from the officials at Casella requesting a 1-year extension through December 31st, 2023, to allow them additional time for contract review and negotiation. We had, at last meeting, extended the contract to December of this year, correct?
Mhm.
So can you say a little more about the correspondence?
Well, they're saying they reference alterations and change. What alterations are going to take?
Well, the issues with the recycling building from the inspection that MMA did.
But that's not from us, that came from...
Yes, but they have to make the changes. I would recommend the 1-year extension because I don't think we're ready. And if we're going to consider things like road maintenance and things that have not been part of our contracts, I think that they probably do need a little bit more time to consider their budget. And we also need more time to make sure that we get the language right. It's a long-term contract, it's a really important one. I would actually appreciate a 1-year extension.
It didn't seem to me that it was an unreasonable request, given the number of things that we asked for changing. And as Mr. Hale points out, the transfer station is a vital part of their operation, and it's also a pretty important part of our income stream for the town. So I think extending the contract would be a wise choice.
And recognizing how busy our town attorney is right now, it's difficult for them to get on it in the timely manner that we had hoped it would be.
So what pricing is going to move forward? There's no increase?
It will stay exactly the same for the next year, which I think is fine.
Did we have a set increase with them on an annual basis?
No. And haven't. And that's part of the change that we were asking for. And that's about $50,000 worth of income, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think in the interest of, did you say harmony just a little bit ago?
Yeah.
In the interest of facilitating what we hope is also an improved relationship. I would move that we grant that extension.
So I'm not opposed to granting it, but I'd like to make sure that we see the contract sooner, at some point, way sooner
Yeah,
than that. I don't
And I
wanna wait until the 11th
Yes.
hour and then say, oh, we need to extend
Right.
again.
And I think that's Chris's point too, is that they need time to consider their budget.
So why don't we put a stipulation in there that the final contract
June 30th.
is due for review
Yeah.
with opportunity then to edit as needed,
Mhm.
but I don't wanna wait
And have
until.
time to negotiate.
Right, so I'm not opposed to an extension, but I'd like, a deadline for the initial contract imposed.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Do you want the initial contract deadline on our fiscal year?
Yeah, June 30th is fine.
Okay, so that, let's amend the motion to extend the contract.
Finally is fine, but the
Right, for
initial review.
For
is
initial
June
review.
30th. Yeah.
Extend the contract with an initial review on June 30th, 2023, and finalization by the 12th, by 12/31/2023.
I'm in favor of that.
All in favor?
Okay.
Did you second?
Second. All in favor.
Keep it moving. Okay, town administrators
I
report.
have nothing on my report tonight. This is my report. The agenda is my report.
Slacker? Gee, nothing to report. Well, let's see, memorandum of understanding, yes, okay, well,
Future agenda items, so we've moved.
I think we have future agenda items.
So what do we moved to? What are the other ones that you've got proposed for the 6th?
So we're gonna have candidates night, segueing into a public hearing for the annual general assistance memorandum update, which we're required to have a public hearing for. And then we'll go into our agenda items, which will be the HR manual, the committee policy, and whatever else comes up.
Okay. I think that's gonna give us plenty of things to talk about that evening.
Then we are
Moving into board
moving
assessors.
into the Board of Assessors, and we have an official document to be signed regarding the 2022 real estate property tax commitment, which is the official adoption. Christine, could you explain to the public why we do this every year?
Because we're committing taxes to the tax collector, Julia House, for collection of the 2022 tax commitment.
And this is the official action. And so, we certify that the pages of the commitment book contain a list and evaluation of estates, real and personal, liable to be taxed in the municipality of West Bath for state, county, district, and municipal taxes for this fiscal year. 7/01/22 to 6/30/2023, as they existed on the first day of April 2022. And we approved this on the 9th day of September, and now we're signing off on that.
Second. I would hope that the check that we're cutting to the county would help support our waterfront needs down the road.
There will be conversations.
Well, I'm thinking for the $753,679 that we're cutting a check for, that we should maybe see a little love back. Because that's a substantial amount of what we collect for our town revenue.
And that supplies our court system, our probate system, our law enforcement.
Well, our law enforcement needs a little extra attention here, since we don't have our own municipal police force.
You should look up sometime what it takes to get a municipal police force.
I'm not in favor of doing that. I'm just saying that we're paying a substantial amount of money.
We, just out of curiosity, look it up though. This, it's a lot.
No, any employee is significant when you put in all the supplemental benefits. And the car and everything else that goes along with the police officer.
And that's the commitment.
It's a lot of metal involved.
Now, the next thing is that we have to,
You don't have to.
well, if we want those services, we have to authorize Julie to pay the bill. This is this next one.
That was the 750,000 I was just referencing,
Right.
that we were about to cut a check for. And then we'll make a motion to accept.
I move that we accept it
Second.
with mixed feelings, but you don't necessarily have to put
With I accept, but I would like to definitely have a dialogue with them about services that we may need as a community, that we'd like perhaps considered as part of their expense allocations.
That's why we have representatives to the county budget.
So there's one thing that you didn't touch on. I think we should read the letter from the town of Georgetown.
Yes, absolutely. John just gave that to me today.
So, a letter was sent to us from the town of Georgetown. Dear board members and chief, on Sunday, August 13th, the Georgetown Volunteer Fire Department responded to a brush fire in Georgetown, quickly determined that mutual aid was required, and the town of West Bath was quick to respond to our need. This letter is to express our thanks for your response. It is encouraging to know that all neighbors are still looking out for neighbors, even across town lines. Please forward our gratitude and thanks to all the West Bath firefighters who responded. On behalf of the Georgetown Select Board and Fire Chief, Amanda Campbell, Town Administrator. It's always nice to see that.
Yay, West Bath.
Right? For real.
What day was that fire?
August 13th.
Thank you. It's nice to see. Accolades.
Well, we got good guys and
We
good,
do.
and good leadership. And
For real.
that is. We also have some nice thank you notes from A New Hope, which provides services for domestic abuse, thanking the town for the contribution that we made through our town meeting. And from Sweetser, which provides mental health services for us. And from the Patent-Free Library, which provides library services of all kinds. A letter of appreciation for the support the town gives to the Patent-Free Library. Nice to know the checks were sent, nice to know they're appreciated.
Public comment?
Our lawn person needs reminded the cemetery once again
Barry's Mill,
has not been mowed at all.
Barry's Mills.
What do we need to do to fix those two fallen down posts?
I'm not sure if there's a pole in the ground they set on or not. I was gonna stop sometime and look at that. I'll make it a point to stop.
Because they're just always falling down.
Yeah, well, I think they've been down since whatever happened.
Sometimes they get set up. It's, you know,
That's it up to fall down.
But, and if there's not a pole, that was one of the things that Nick Coleman, who did his Eagle project over there, had talked to someone who does mason work about drilling, to
Yeah.
put in a post in.
I'll make it a point to stop and let Christine know what if I
Yeah,
know.
that'd be great.
And I don't know if in that, he's also, not that they're recently been replaced, but he's been diligently, replacing flowers
Yeah.
on a regular basis there in the pots that he put outside his Eagle project, so
I
it's
noticed that.
an ongoing dedication, which is very thoughtful.
I move that,
Are you getting to end?
no, I was going to move that we make a note of thanks as part of the minutes
Oh, okay.
for the ongoing care for the cemetery.
And that's Nick Holman.
Oh, I got his name.
Could I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, good. Yeah, duly noted. He's done a really good job.
You know, a lot of times kids, they just.
Yeah, get it done and
Yeah.
take it away.
In lieu of public, I will represent the public that I've received a couple of complaints that Casella is back to their early morning hours, so I regret that. Municipal Officer Lavalley is not here to confirm or deny this accusation. I was behind the truck at 7 a.m. today, which is probably well within their time.
They're allowed to start, there's 2 truck, in the contract, in the current contract, there are 2 truck access, leaving the facility at 4 a.m. as part of their contract language too.
Leaving,
Leaving.
right.
That is, but they
That
have,
should not create much of a disturbance.
no. But that, there is early morning access in the contract,
Right.
is my point. I don't know what they're doing.
No, I don't either,
But
but I wanted to note it so that the public feels heard.
I think we should rescind that extension. But yes.
Perhaps, Christine, could you be in touch with
Yeah,
our
I
local
will.
contact?
Yeah.
It seems to me that only the people who live in that immediate neighborhood and whose houses are shaken by the contact with the ledge might be the only people that are affected. The rest of us don't hear it.
Right.
Well, and if we could, because I think
They
this,
will descend the osprey screaming on my window at 6 a.m.
but I think so, in some of our discussions with them, realized that one of their contractors was doing something that they weren't supposed to be doing and has instilled a penalty, which certainly should be coming to us if they're making the noise for our residents. But if someone's not following what the stipulations are, we need to give them a chance to enforce their penalty structure to help ensure that it doesn't happen anymore.
Right. And that does mean that they need to be aware.
Yeah.
They have video equipment. I mean, that's how they actually went and looked at it and saw and confirmed what the complaints were. So it's just we need, as those dates come in, if you can ask them
Yeah.
when it happened, because then they can go back to the camera
That's good to know.
and verify who's doing it.
Perfect.
We're here to help.
Okay.
I move that we adjourn.
I
If public comment is completely done. Okay.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
All in favor, rise.
That's the quickest meetings we've had. Here, I thought I would have had dinner tonight.